Hey everybody, Adil Marcy here from adilamarcy.com, and this video we're going to cover 5 mistakes people make when writing direct response copy. Now, each one of these mistakes is vitally important to get right because if you don't correct them, you'll be leaving money on the table and conversions, and there are customers out there that need your product that won't be able to buy simply because you dropped the ball by making one of these mistakes. So let's dive in with the 5. Mistake number 1. You're using certain words and phrases that your market does not like. Now, if you study any level of psychology and words in general, you'll find there are certain words that we don't use. Words such as, or phrases such as, to be honest with you. Never use that in a sales letter or in a sales video because it means that you're lying up to that point. Learn is another word. Why learn? Only use the word learn if talking about yourself. I learned this. This taught me this. You don't want to use that word in terms of selling, such as learn how to do this as a headline. Never. Use another word like discover, uncover, reveal. Those are 3 of my favorite ones. The reason for this is quite simple. Psychologically, learning is linked to school. A lot of people actually did not like school. You may love learning, but you don't like school. So subconsciously, you pump the brakes to the idea of moving forward because your brain always says, hey, we're learning right now, we're in school, going through the processes, anxiety, bullying, all the stuff we went through, pump the brakes. Don't want that pain. So if you use a word like discover, it makes it feel like a treasure hunt, it makes them feel like they're actually participating in something, and that moves them forward. So using certain words like that can be detrimental to your copy, but more importantly, using triggering words to actually evoke imagery, feeling, and thought. Words such as here's how I felt, or you'll uncover, or how you'll feel at the end of this, or paint an imaginary picture for them, explain what was going on at the time. Use words like imagine how, or imagine this for a moment. So I'll give you guys an example from my personal life about how I moved to London. So imagine for a moment you're living in a place in Plymouth, in a really nice, beautiful apartment, and you and your then girlfriend decide to break up, and you're actually left living together for 3 months. Then moving back to your hometown, you don't want to move back there. You want to go to somewhere new. You want to move to London, but you have no idea how to get there. So you call up your best friend in London and say, hey, listen, this is my budget. This is a place I'm looking for. Can you help me out? Could you imagine the feelings that I felt when he said, hey man, why don't you move into my place because I'm going to be leaving soon? And especially when you've already told them that you used to have a little bit of envy for where they live, but in a good way. Like you really liked how they achieved their stuff and you want a place similar to theirs. And they're telling you, hey, just move right in. The feelings I actually felt that day were incredible. So having that level of emotional connection, of course I tell that story very dryly. I didn't use a lot of emotion in my facial features, but usually I tell that quite excitedly. Right now it's just for time. The second mistake people make is their sales pieces are boring. Unfortunately, far too many people try to sell on information. In fact, fact and information are important, but what really helps you sell with a story is emotion, excitement, feeling, engagement, entertainment. So the best way that I always look at this is look at if you have a hard time creating stories, like I don't know how to tell a story that will work and all this, that, the other. Such as my friend Bozzy was telling me the other day. Simple things. Embellish little details about yourself. And by embellish, I don't mean lie. I mean just slightly exaggerate. For instance, if you're a 6'6" guy in an airport where everyone else is 5'7", and it's hot as hell, and you're sweating, and all you're doing is playing chess. Yes, Bozzy, I'm telling you a story. Don't just say, "Oh, I was standing in a queue. It was a horrible thing." Blah blah blah. Just saying that it's like, "Hey, I'm 6'6". I'm sweating. Everyone else is sweating, and because heat rises, all their sweat was like going right into my nostrils because I was the tallest one in there. So could you imagine how I felt? That right there adds a whole new level of credibility, humor, and imagery into your customer's mind. When you're telling a story, though, if you check out my story selling blueprint, so storysellingblueprint.com, link right down here, or in the description below. If you go check that out, I actually give a template for how to actually write stories in general to go ahead and sell or put across your point. The third key thing here is people sell from the heels. Now you can have a great story, you've used all the right words, but when you get down to the point of asking for the sale, Far too many people sell from the heels, and here's what I mean. When you're selling from the heels, you'll say, okay, great, this sounds amazing, I'm so glad that you want to buy. And then when they say, how do I order, your words are, well, if you feel like it, maybe you can do this. There's no certainty. And the way that you get rid of this is by answering a very simple question. Just write it out. Here's what you do next, and then tell them exactly what the steps are. So for me, if I was to tell you, if you were to go to storysellingblueprint.com, it would be, here's what you do next. Click the link below, go to storysellingblueprint.com, enter your name and email address, and get my blueprints directly mailed to you. Confirm the email addresses if there is one. If not, just go in, check out the stuff, and apply it today. That's how quick and easy it is. If it was an order page to say, go there, buy Storytelling Blueprint, once you actually go ahead and click the order button, you'll be taken to our secure checkout page, fill in the form, complete your investment, and you'll be sent to a registration page where all you have to do is confirm your details. Once you've confirmed the details, we'll be able to mail in all the information to you, and you'll have complete access to everything right away. That's how you close. But if you're closing from the heels, doesn't matter how good your sales letter is, people aren't going to buy because they're going to have no need, no pull towards that. You need to keep going until right to the end. Mistake number 4 is lack of images. I don't mean like words that paint imagery, like literal images. There's no images of you on the sales letter, the product, what people are getting, testimonials. You want to have all these images on there because if you have them on there, it builds credibility, a base, and people want to buy from you. So they know, like, and trust you. Finally, point number 5, and this is probably one of the most overlooked points there is in the sales letter, especially when you're creating your sales message. There is no continuity in sense of what happens next. So I'll explain. If you create a sales funnel, it's like opt-in page, sales funnel, one-time offer, delivery. So that's 4 pieces. It's a very simple funnel. I'll make another video about that in a moment. What you do is you don't have an overarching theme in your story. So you kind of go opt-in page about one thing, sales letter about one story, upsell about something else. There is no unification here. So if your product is about, I don't know, selling tea cozies, what's the most viable thing? The tea cozies are horrible because I don't know anything about tea cozies. Let's just say that your idea is selling dog collars. You're selling dog collars, your upsells, you're selling leashes. So you tell a story about how your dog got lost, so you created this state-of-the-art dog collar that was absolutely amazing, that had a tracker in it and all and everything else, and then you were selling dog leashes. Now, you don't go ahead and say, right, so by the way, once you've bought this thing, which you can start off with, get these dog leashes. Continue the story on. So while you have a dog collar, you can use a regular dog leash if you want, but the reason we've created these state-of-the-art ones is because they go completely hand in hand, they have all this stuff in them. It continues the story forward and gets them to buy the next thing, or breaks that illusion and feeling that they've already created in order to get them to buy. So go ahead and make sure you check that out. By the way, if you like this video and you want to see more, click the like button, share, subscribe, do whatever the hell you feel like, but definitely go check out storysellblueprint.com and adelamarcy.com. I've been Adela Marcy, and I will see you on the next video.